Hi guys, welcome back to Python based data science lecture series. In last session, we had a discussion how we can connect Python with MySQL. Then we had a discussion how we can install the softwares, how we can install the connectors and practice how we can create the database tables and insert the records. First of all, let us review the things and then we'll go for the next level or next stage of using SQL in the applications. After connecting your Python with MySQL, we need to write the code. Import mysql.connector. MySQL.connector will provide you the method called as connect. You have to pass on three arguments: the localhost. Localhost means the local this machine, then user and the password. This password you are providing at the time of installing MySQL. Root is the main user. By passing on these arguments, you are creating an instance. This statement is responsible for establishing connections with the database. Then we have a cursor method so that database can be used, and MySQL started pointing to the database. Then that instance of cursor will execute the query on the established connection. Here we use a query called as create database axiom. So it will firstly, by using MySQL connector connect, it will establish the connection and then execute the query create database axiom, and it will create the database. If we use a command show databases on MySQL command prompt, it will list out that axiom database is added over here. Now, to use that database, we have to use a command called as use axiom. Then we'll be switching to that database called as axiom. After successfully creating a database, now it's time to create a table. The process will be the same. You have to import mysql.connector, and then now I define a create table method which will perform connectivity operation for me. Now I am adding to the connect method, I am adding one other argument, that is database. Localhost root, the password and the database name I am providing. I am setting my cursor and to the connection, and then execute a query create table student name, and then name is a field name, varchar 255 is the maximum length, roll number integer. In this manner, you can pass on the number of fields you required to create a table, and then you execute a query for creating table, and in this way you can able to create the table. Here we are in the axiom database. If I say show tables, I'll get the list out the number of tables available in the database. Right now we just created only one table, and that is named as students. After successfully creating a table, now it's time to insert the record into it. Now to insert a record, again the step number one, establish the connection and then set the cursor, and then use a command insert into table name, then the fields and values which you are passing it on as an argument. Execute that query and the values as a value you are providing, and commit the database. Now this commit method, what after executing the query, the results will be committed into database, and my cursor, this is the like cursor dot row count will give you how many number of rows are inserted, and then close the database. Now the methods like connect, cursor, execute, commit, and close, these are the predefined methods. If you execute this code, you'll find the RAM with 85 in record will be inserted. Now this will insert only a single record. If you want to insert the multiple records, then you have to just rest operation will be the same. You have to change the method. You have to pass on. You have to declare an array over here. Here earlier in the code I insert RAM with 85 roll number. Now I am inserting multiple records. Akash, Neil, Rohan, Amit, Anil, Meghna, Sita. So I create an array of it. I create a list of it, and then I'll use a method called as execute many. Execute many and execute. Execute will insert only one record at a time. Execute many will insert an entire list of data onto the table, and then commit, and then it will give you the how many number of rows are affected, and we'll close the database. Now if we use a command select star from student, then you'll get the list of the records inserted into the database. Up till now we already discussed in the last sessions. I just make a review of it. Now you have a database by the name of Axiom, you have a table by the name of student, and you have a list of records. Now if you want to fetch record by record from the database, what you can do? First of all, if you want to fetch all the records, now here we go to the MySQL prompt and check the list of the records available by student star from tab. But if you want to write a program for the same, what you can do? Step number 1, establish the connection. It will be common for all the code. Set the cursor and execute the query select star from tab. Now here tab is referred to the students, and after executing that query select star from tab, there is a method called as fetch all. Now this fetch all method will list out all the records from the database, and then will generate the my result variable. Now for x in, you set a loop for x in my result print x. So x is actually referred to the record by record, line by line to the my result. So the list of the students available in the database, it will fetch all the records and assign to the my result. After setting a loop for x in my result, we can print the entire list record by record. Let us go for the execution. Here it is. It will list out all the records with all the fields available in the database. Now I don't want to fetch all the records at a time. There is another method called as fetch one. After executing a query select star from tab, it will list out all the records, but I have to just refer the top row. In that case, you have to use a method called as fetch one. What it will do, from the list of the records, it can able to fetch only one record, top record, and then display it to you. Here it is. From the entire list, it will list out only one top record on the top. So if you want to fetch the top record from the list, you can use this. Now if you use a query select star from tab, it will list out all the records with all the columns. But sometimes we need to list out the records with specific column. You want to list only name, you want to list only roll number, you want to, if you have a more columns, and instead of all the columns I want to select the few columns and list the records, then you can customize the query like this. Rest connection cursor will be the same. You have to just change the query, select roll number from student. Here you can specify name as well, or name comma roll number as well, and fetch all. Let's try this. Here it is. It will list out all the roll numbers from the table. If you want to list out only names, you can say select name. You can list out only names from the database. If you want to list out name comma roll number, that is also you can do. So now we discuss the method called as fetch all and fetch one. At the same time, we can list out the things, top record, as well as column wise listing also can be possible. Let us apply the conditional clause on this. Means if you want to list out the record but conditionally, what you can do in this case? You can establish the connection, you can set the cursor, and then if you write a query like select star from student where name equals to Amit, you want to list out all the records or a record having name equals to Amit. So if you execute this query, if you don't have multiple records, it will list out a single record from the database which is having name Amit. Here is the result, Amit 87. I am having the roll number 87 will be listed out. Now, if you want to list out all the records having roll number less than 50, obviously to match the condition, okay, you have a condition like roll number less than 50, it may be more records, not one record, more than one records may be having roll number less than 50. It will list out all those records. Here it is, the list of the students having roll number less than equal to 50. In this manner, you can set a condition to list out the records conditionally. Sometimes we want to list out the records. Let's say here in this case, I want to list out all the records starting with the initial alphabet A. We already list out Amit, but there may be any other records also having starting alphabet A, maybe for the name of Amit, Anil, Anamika, and all those names. So in such situations, you have to use a like clause. Select star from student where name equals to like A mod. A mod means now here you specify the first initial alphabet A, and mod means now rest it will use as a while character. You can use it as a last also. Modulus A means last character will be A. You can use it as a mid also, mod A and mod. So if there is A occurrence of A, that can be listed out. But here in this case, list out all those records which is having initial alphabet A starts with. It will list out all the records like Akash, Amit, and Anil. Now, sometimes we want to list out all the records sortedly as per ascending name, as per ascending roll number, as per descending. By default, the records will be listed out randomly. But if you want to list out in the ascending order, what you can do? The rest things about the connection, cursor with as it is, we are just focusing changing the query over here. If I write a query, select star from student order by name. Order by name means by default it will list out all the records by ascending order of the name. Let us run this. Here it is, A, M, N, R, and S. So it's ascending order of the name. But if you want to do the same with the descending order, you can do that. Here is the result. Now it's a descending order of name. Now you can apply this clause for roll number also, ascending roll number, descending roll number, that you can list out. So here this query, order by, will list out all the records ascending or descending order sortedly. Rest the code will be the as it is. If you want to update the data available in the record, then what you can do? You have to use a query called as update. Establish the connection, set the cursor, update student, set roll number equals to 102. I want to change the roll number of Amit. I want to assign a new roll number to the Amit. So in such situations, I can modify a query, update student, set roll number equals to 102, where name equals to Amit. And if I execute this query, then the roll number of Amit will be updated to 102. Let's check this. It is already 102 available over here. So, okay, roll number, here it's underscore. Here it is. Now you will find Amit with the roll number 102. In this manner, you can update any specific fields data by setting the condition. Now, after listing out the records, top record, all the records, condition listing, at the same time sorted order, order by, ascending or descending, now it's time to, if you want to delete any specific record, what you can do? Rest, establish the connection, set the cursor. My query is delete from student where name equals to Amit. Means it will delete from that database that student records having name equals to Amit. If I execute the query, that Amit record will be deleted. You can specify the query delete from student where roll number less than equal to 50. All those records, if it is unused for you, you can able to delete all those records having roll number less than equal to 50, and it will show you how many number of rows are deleted. Now, above case, we can delete the specific record or specific number of records. But if you want to delete a database, or sorry, delete a table, then you can use a query called as drop table students. It will delete all the records available in the database. So this is about how we can perform the REST operations with the database. We install MySQL, we install connector, MySQL connector or MySQL connector -Python. After that, we, as a programmer, we need to write the programs to create the database, create the tables, insert into, display all the records, and display conditionally, and updating and deleting operations. So in this manner, we can able to perform all the possible of CRUD operations, create, display and all. And then all the entire operations of the database we can able to perform. I hope you enjoyed these sessions. Thank you.